Hi, this is Anna. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to take apart this rug that I was showing you in one of my videos. I got a few of these rugs and I thought, why don't I do it on the 13th so I can actually talk about some stories, things that happened to me, especially that's 13th today and it's October, which is Halloween month. So, because if I did it just, if I just was cutting these threads right here that I see, it would be boring. So I figured, why don't I tell you some stories about myself? And I wasn't sure if I should do that or not. So I needed a sign. And as I was standing in my living room today, I was looking at one of my cats sleeping on the ottoman, and then I just looked around him, and there were a lot of pillows on the sectional that were put really neatly all around the sectional, and I'm like, wow, that's a lot of pillows. So I counted the pillows, and guess what? It was 13 pillows, so that was a sign for me. But look at this rug. So it is wide, that's the width, and then it is very long. Probably tells me the dimensions somewhere. 36 inches by 60 inches, so 91.5 centimeters by 152 and a half. So like 1.5 meters long. So anyways, so I thought I'll tell you a story about a ghost. And if you're not interested in the story, if you're not interested in what I'm saying, you can just turn off the volume and just watch this to unravel. And why I picked 13 is because 13 is a very special number for me. I was born on Friday the 13th, and I don't think I am unlucky because of that. As a matter of fact, I think that whatever I ask God for, I get it in abundance. So I, even to the point that I stopped asking about anything because it's kind of scary. So to give you an example, my last my two cats died in 2013, and I really wanted 3 cats, and I wanted a ragdoll, I wanted a Himalayan because 2 Himalayans just passed away, and so I wanted a ragdoll, Himalayan. I wanted a ragdoll because they supposedly live longer, and then I said I'll go to a shelter and I get 1 cat from a shelter, but soon after, like literally a week after, a cat found me. I actually saw her on a street, and she wasn't a stray cat, but she was definitely abandoned cat and in a poor shape, and she was an older cat too, and from declawed. I was trying to find the owners, but I couldn't, so we kept her, and we named her Aurora. And then we adopted 2 cats off of Craigslist, 2 Himalayan cats, and didn't know that the cats were not fixed, so I got a lot of cats, and I only asked for 3, and I got many more. So, this is why I don't ask God for anything, because I really like, my favorite animal is elephant. So I'm even scared to think about it, because what would I do with 5 elephants, right? So, but another thing is, I don't remember how many years ago it was. You know, like I notice people in need when I'm on the street or wherever I am. I always notice people in need, or people that are, you know, with some type of suffering going around. I always was perceptive to that. So I asked God to, I said, why don't you give me this power so I can come up to this person and, touch on that magic button and help that person to get off that wheelchair. But that's pretty much impossible, right? And I said, I don't want any credit for it. I don't even want people to know I did it. It will be just so satisfying for me if that could happen. Look at this. Isn't that amazing? This one is yellow. So of course I didn't get this special power I asked for, but shortly after I started making journals, and I sell a lot of journals thanks to you all, so thank you very much. But see, the thing is that every time I sell the journal and every time I get the review, and some of the reviews are so touching, and people tell me that they're crying when they receive the journals. So these are really, it's so rewarding for me to hear that, and it's pretty much an honor. But then I thought, see, I asked God to somehow, give me some powers to make people happy, and I think there are a lot of people that are happy because of the journals, what they can put in the journals, their thoughts, their fears, their whatever it is. Everybody's going through something, and so I think that's what it was. I asked for it, and I received it. So, but where was I going with all that? But anyways, I think it's just perception on a different level, and I'm not saying worse or better. It's just a little different. And when my grandpa died in 2007, and I was already here, and my grandma was in Poland. When my grandpa died, I would have dreams about him being completely well and alive and everything. So the next day, I would call my grandma and I would tell her about the dream. And the dreams were always the same. It was like I saw my grandpa and I was like overjoyed, and I was like, wow, you're alive. I can't believe, Grandpa, that you're alive, because everybody thought that you were dead. I'm translating my dream right now because I always speak to him in Polish. But the next day I would always call my grandma and I would tell her the dream, and she would be really moved, and many times she would cry, and she just wanted to hear it, because I think it was like the connection that I was giving her with my grandpa. And I was telling her, I was like, yeah, he was wearing this pink short sleeve dress shirt and dress pants and stuff, gray dress pants. And she's like, yeah, that was his favorite outfit. And it's then later on, when my grandma got dementia, and she lost her hearing too. But so when she lost her hearing, she did have the hearing aid, but it was difficult. When you're on the phone, I was literally screaming to the phone, telling her about my dreams. And I was doing this as long as I could, until Grandma wasn't really able to get to the phone and talk to me, pretty much. So then, you know, last time I was visiting when she was still alive, I mean, she didn't remember people's names because I guess that's what happens when you have dementia, but she remembered my name because the second I walked into the room, she called me by my name, and it was like the name she used to call me all the time. So, which is very sweet version of my name. So, then when my grandma died a few years ago, I was not able to attend the funeral because it was very short notice and I couldn't find my passport because we were moving. So I didn't feel great about it, but on the same note, I knew that she's with me regardless, so it didn't really matter that much to me. And plus, because my grandma, I always say that my grandma raised me because my parents were working full time and I was with my grandma, but you know, my grandparents had a farm, big farm. So my grandma was also working on the farm. She was taking care of hens and ducks and all that stuff, and she also was cooking dinner for people every single day. So it's like dinner is at lunchtime pretty much, so it's a little different. So she was cooking at noontime, and I remember watching her, and but we were always together, so she was paying attention to what I was doing when she was doing all her work. And you know, my grandparents, they went through the war, of course. So people who went through war, they were shaped differently. They were tougher. They were just different people, and I really appreciate that. And I appreciate the way I was raised. And my grandma, when I was crying about silly little things, my grandma would say to me, don't cry, don't embarrass yourself, you know. So when I got the message that my grandma died, I started crying, of course. And then I didn't literally hear the voice, but I remembered that every time I wanted to cry about something or cried about something, my grandma would say that to me. And I literally stopped crying immediately, and it gave me such comfort when, you know, when I remembered that she would say that to me. It gave me such comfort, and I appreciated that even more than ever, because I would go nuts, but instead I was pretty much happy, and I felt pretty comfortable, even though I was not able to attend. So, but the funeral was at 1 p.m. Polish time, which is 7 a.m. in the United States where I live. So I really wanted to go to the church at 7 a.m. to kind of connect, because I already knew how the whole thing would look like. You know, I know how the church looks like in my hometown, and I knew how the funeral would look like. So I didn't need, you know, much to do that. So I just wanted to go to the church and, you know, just pray in front of the cross and think about my family and think about my grandma, and to connect with them at the same time that they were at the church for the funeral. So I went to the church, but I went to the kitchen. It was like the kitchen room, but it did have the cross. Like, cross was everything I needed. I didn't need big church or anything. I just needed to be in the holy place with the church on the wall. So imagine that, 7 a.m. I am standing. So there was just empty, pretty much empty room, and that's what's confusing to me about these churches here. It's like, you know, in Poland, you walk to a church, it's a church. And here it's like so many different rooms and hallways and stuff and bathrooms, and so like I didn't know where the main I don't even know how you call this place, the main place in the church where the mass is. I didn't know where it was. So, but it was a Catholic church. So 7 a.m. I went to the church, and I was so happy that the door was unlocked because I wasn't sure if the door would be unlocked or not. And I was standing in the corner of that room, dressed in black and crying because, you know, first I prayed on my knees, and then I got up, and I just wanted to stand there for the entire hour for the whole funeral. But then the guy came in, I guess was like a service person. Oh my God, let me tell you, this guy was spooked. Like, this guy was so spooked. And, you know, I'm crying because, you know, I'm living, you know, with the funeral in my head. So I'm just, you know, I'm miserable because I'm thinking about all of this thing. Maybe not miserable, but I was just thinking about what my family was going through, and the whole, I was imagining all that. And so I was crying, and I was dressed in black, and it was dark in the room. So the guy comes in and he sees me, you know, all in black and crying in the corner of the room. And he looked at me, and he's asking me, I think he asked me if everything is okay. I don't know. I don't remember. But I said to him, I said, it's my grandma's funeral. So imagine to a person, you know, 7 a.m. and then you have this crying person all in black standing in this room. Like, I probably looked like something else. But so he's like, so I said, it's my grandma's funeral. And he said to me, here? And I said, no, in Poland. And I said to him, it's after 1 p.m. in Poland, so it's the same. So here so I had to come here so early. And I said, I don't know where the main church is. So he took me there, and I did not like it because the people started coming to the church, and was too much commotion. And then the priest was, you know what they do with this smelly thing? I don't even know how you call this in English. This, so this in the air, and then a lot of people, and I couldn't concentrate, and I couldn't connect. So I just prayed a little longer, and I just left. But I was happy I did that. At least I could do something. So it's just a little different perception, I guess. So now I'll tell you about the ghost, and it is a true story. And I forgot to mention in the beginning of the video that this video is not for kids. So when I think I was in 4th grade of elementary school, and it must have been 4th grade, because if it was 3rd grade, then my mom would be home with my sister, because my sister would be 2 years old, so my mom would still be home with her because it's 2 years. I don't know if it's still 2 years for the maternity leave, but it used to be. Look, this is beautiful for Halloween. So, and then 5th grade was, starting 5th grade, I was in morning classes. And up to 4th grade, I was in afternoon classes. That means my school was starting after 12. So it was like bright daylight, because it was around noontime, and I was getting ready to go to school, and I would always make something to eat for myself. So I made myself a scrambled egg, and I was sitting in the corner of the kitchen, and I guess I was just too lazy to put the egg on the plate, so I was just eating out of the pan. So as I'm sitting in the kitchen, corner of the kitchen, and I look directly ahead of, in front of, across the kitchen. Across the kitchen was the door to the hallway. And I saw a man. I saw a man just walking down the hallway. So pretty much I saw him walking where the opening, the door opening was, the frame. He just walked like that, right, along the hallway. And I didn't really think much of it because I thought it was my dad, because this was a white person, a man, that will be hard to tell the age, but wasn't bending over, like, you know, back issues or anything. So it looked like my father. So I thought, first thought that I had in my head was that it is my dad. And then, you know, I'm eating this egg and I'm thinking, but wait a second, my dad is at work. So I left the kitchen, I checked the hallway, and there was nothing there. And nobody died. Nothing happened around the time, and it was a brand new house because my parents built the house. So I have no idea. All I know is it was white, and it had the figure of a man, and that's all I remember. And it was middle of the day. So I also heard stories that the good ghosts are white, which I cannot tell really if it's true or not. But because I saw one, it's hard for me if somebody tell me there are no ghosts, because I've seen one. And I wasn't really scared of that. And then, but my mom is a strong believer. She goes to church and everything, but when somebody dies, she sees a ghost, like it appears on a window. So I don't know if it's a genetic thing or what, but I only saw it once in my life. But I remember. So I thought it would be very interesting to tell stories like this in October. And I'm very interested to know if anything like that ever happened to any of you. And somebody, actually, older person many years ago, told me something that's, I think, very true. She said to me, never be afraid of ghosts, be afraid of people, which is true, because she said ghosts can't hurt you, but people can. And it is true. So I hope this wasn't too dark for you, those stories and stuff. That's just the way life goes. And things happen to everybody. And I am very grateful for my upbringing, my grandparents, to both of my grandparents and my parents and everybody. But they really shaped me. And even now that I live far away from my family, away from my friends, I think I am pretty tough, actually. So it's because I was raised by tough people, I think. So how do you like these fibers so far? Do you like them? I think they're beautiful. And this is actually pretty easy to take apart. Look at that. And these could make so many amazing things. They could even make a closure for a journal. And you get so many of them. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? So this could be good for Thanksgiving journal. So, but anyways, I would like to know if there are more people like me who saw a ghost, not at night, because at night it can be a dream when it happens at night, but if it happened during a day. And I'll tell you another thing that happened to me that's really interesting. I think that was like 5th grade of elementary school. Must have been 5th grade. We had religion as a class. Different building, but I think we had like 1 or 2. It was called religion. 1 or 2 hours a week. And one year, every year was pretty much the same, because it's like the cycle, Jesus and stuff, and when he was born and all that. So in December, we were talking about Jesus being born and all the preparation for it and all that. And I don't know if that was my imagination kicking in at that age or what, but that 1 year, and it only happened to me once, that 1 year, I really thought that Jesus is really coming and is being born, and it's coming to the world, I guess. I don't know, fifth grade, how old would I be in 5th grade? 12? Around 12, right? So, but anyways, because of all the, talking about it, and it's, I was just, and it was, let me tell you, it was such an amazing feeling. I cannot even describe it to you. I really felt, and I can't even describe it. I cannot find words to describe this, but I really thought that Jesus was coming. And I can't even explain this feeling to you. It was so amazing that I wish that could happen to me every year, but it only happened once. So these things just happen once. So I would really want to know if things like that happen to other people. And by the way, I am not schizophrenic, and I don't think I have anything else going. I hope I don't. So, because it might seem crazy to other people, but that really happened to me. And one more thing I wanted to say, and I forgot. What was it? I was just thinking about it, and then I forgot. Maybe it will come to me in a second while I'm working on this. So look how much how many of these fibers you get. This one has some shiny blue going through it. I really forgot what it was. Wow, look at that. See how shiny this is? And then you have flowers here. There's one more thing that I wanted to mention. Oh, I remember now. So, as far as Halloween, right? It's just, I guess, a thing of mine. I like to sit in a very dark room. And I was researching that because, you know, there were people who said that this doesn't seem right, you know. So I tried to research that, and what I found out is that creative people, which will be me, because I think I'm creative, find comfort and inspirations when they sit in the dark. And it is very, very true, because when I sit in the dark, I'm usually looking at my phone and looking at videos or whatever, and I have a glass of, you know, grape juice, and it's just, I love to sit in the dark. No TV, nothing. Christmas tree is okay, or some lights, you know, little lights um, on plants or something, but no main light. So just sitting in the dark, I find it extremely relaxing, and I absolutely love it. And I just sit in the corner of the room, and I'm usually surrounded by many cats, so it's not like I'm all by myself, but I just sit like that, and I look at the phone, and then my husband comes in. And he's always very spooked, because, you know, when you sit in the dark and your face is lit up, it's could be scary to some people, right? So he's always very spooked when he sees me like that, because, you know, there's no movement, there's no noise, there's nothing. You would not know that there's somebody sitting in the room, right? So, yeah, so that's the interesting fact about me. And I think I'll stop, because this video will be long, but look at this one. Look how white this one is. Isn't that beautiful? Because this one, it's, I see it now, it's 2 pieces together, but still very beautiful. And look how many I already got, and I'm not even one, I don't know, I'm probably not even 1/20th done here. So these rags are at Five Below. I got them at Five Below for, I was telling you the price, I think it was like $5. And they're heavy, because you see how much stuff, they're literally packed with these, I guess it's sorry silk. But definitely worth it now that I see how much I got. And see, this will be a very boring video if I only talked about the rag and the fibers, and if I was just repeating myself over and over, and instead you could hear some stories. So please don't think much of it, but if you would like to write down some comments and maybe tell your stories, I would really want to hear if there are people with similar things that happen to them. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed some of the things that I said, or made sense, or maybe it didn't make sense. If it didn't, then you could always turn off the volume. But I'm already working on more fall and Thanksgiving journals. So if you want to subscribe to my channel to see more stuff, please do so. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.